You're listening to the Floyd Main Street Podcast. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a good weekend so far. I'm your host, Lucas Graham, back for another edition of this week's Floyd Main Street Podcast. Got a lot in the headlines this week, talking about some public hearings and some other things going on within local county government. Talk about some more green boxes being moved. Got some stuff with VDOT. We're going to talk about sports again, some events going on in the county. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into it and start unpacking this stuff. Fellas, today I want to start off with the county here has posted that they are accepting bids for a grading plan at the Floyd landfill and transfer station site here in Floyd. And the bid includes opening the site distance, changing the drainage path, clearing for a site for chipping house, and extending the driveway to the parking area for parking 8 to 10 road trailers. Anybody that's interested in putting in a bid can send their request to Mark Bolt at mbolt@floydcova.gov or call the county office. If you know anybody or you do any grade work, be a good chance to get a job in there maybe and put a bid in and try to get a little work. So I want to throw that out there for anybody that was interested.
Is this tied in with the green boxes? I mean, are they trying to expand something?
It does say that they are looking to extend the driveway to the parking area for parking of 8 to 10 road trailers, culverts, and possible drop inlets. I don't know what that means specifically.
The bears are out. We already had 3 at my place
over
on Kennedy School Road, so
yeah,
they're out and about.
Since you brought that up, the latest green boxes that were removed, I think they were Buffalo Mountain Road, weren't they?
Yeah, 221.
So for anybody that doesn't know about that, we'll throw that out there, that the Floyd County government had posted that due to recent bear activity, the green box site at Floyd Highway South at the end of Buffalo Mountain Road is temporarily closed. The green boxes will be placed at the site near Willis Elementary School, so keep that in mind for those of you that use Buffalo Mountain. I think they've taken those before, haven't they?
Are you all seeing, like, more bears this year, the same as last year? Because I'm seeing larger numbers earlier.
Yeah, and they're hungrier.
I haven't saw the first one.
Really?
Not this year. Probably hit one on the way home.
Tell you what, come on around, wear that bacon necklace you've got, and I'll be glad to introduce you to them.
And here also in the county, too, they are having some public hearings that I want our listeners to know about. We'll go through those real quick. The first one is a notice of a public hearing. They're going to be looking at some changes to the Floyd County Subdivision Ordinance to accommodate the Code of Virginia changes. That will be Tuesday, June 24th at 6 o'clock. And the Board of Supervisors will conduct a public hearing on the Planning Commission. Again, Tuesday, June 24th at 6 o'clock. Public hearing will be conducted at the Floyd County Administration Building, 202 East Main Street on the second floor. And a copy of that proposed subdivision ordinance is on file and available for inspection in the Office of the County Administrator or at floydcova.gov. We went ahead and pulled this up for you to kind of break it down, because that was my question to our co-host, who I didn't even properly introduce this time, as I do every week.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
You're forgetting us.
You probably remember
We're just the little people now to you, Lucas.
You know their voices, though. Chad Harris, Eric Branscombe. Thank y'all guys for being here, even though I'm a little late to the introduction. But Eric here, I believe, has pulled up this ordinance, and I had asked him before we'd started recording, because I wanted to know specifically, what does this ordinance, the subdivision ordinance, entail?
Well, it's funny you should mention that, because, I go to www.floydcova.gov. Mm-hmm. You look under there and you get the news and announcements. Of course, I get that announcement that we've got this public hearing. And it says it's here, but I'm not seeing it really listed.
Okay.
So while I say it's listed, it ain't the easiest thing to find.
Yeah.
So if it's out there, I don't really know. Now, it says that what they're talking about is that they're updating it for some fees. That makes sense. I mean, that's something that's always changing with the state. Mm-hmm. And every time you make any kind of change to any kind of ordinance, you have to have a public hearing.
They've already had one public hearing on this already, right?
That's right. And that was maybe about a month ago.
That's what I was thinking.
There may be changes coming from the state. I know that's one of those things that the state has been in this habit for some time of trying to shove costs down onto the counties. Mm-hmm. And so the counties have to adjust their costs to pay for mandates that are coming from the state government. And that's part of the increase of the cost of the budgets that you get. So that could very well be part of it. But I'm not seeing anything that's readily available to see exactly what the changes are that they're going to do with, which, I mean, it may be on here, just taking a quick look around, and I'm not seeing it.
Okay.
Initially, when they first had the public hearing and some people spoke on it, they pushed it off in order to conduct a water study done, and that fella come in and spoke on that. Probably if that plays anything into why they're having another hearing, maybe they've change some things from that.
You've got more connections into the construction business, and any kind of ordinance, the main issue is going to be water. If you're putting a bunch of houses into a fairly confined space, like you're making a subdivision, you've got water issues and you're going to have road issues. You've got to make sure you've got the right kind of roads there and how they're going to be taken care of, because a lot of times subdivisions, they try to take care of their own roads, or they're going to be part of the county system, which adds to the burden for the county. Is going to have to help take care of that and get VDOT to take over the roads.
And how many people in Floyd really want to drive down the road and look over and see all these houses stacked on top of one another, kind of like you see in Reiner and these other places? I mean, Floyd's kind of known for their farmland and their scenic views, and I don't know that type of structure necessarily fits our community.
I think it becomes an economic reality when it comes to the point that the land is worth more to, instead of having like a cattle farm or an orchard on, how are you going to tell those farmers that they can't cash in on the land that they've had all these years and get their retirement?
Yeah.
It's an economic reality that we have to deal with. Fortunately, you don't have too much of that in the county because the roads make it real hard to get from one place to another around here.
On that same night, they're also having a public hearing for the solid waste ordinance. Again, Tuesday, June 24th, 6:30 p.m. All interested people are invited to attend and present their views at the above time and place. Again, Tuesday, June 24th. Written comments will be accepted until 4 p.m. on June 20th as presented by the county administrator, and you can email Kim Cheeto at kcheeto@floydcova.gov on that one. And again, that's the solid waste ordinance.
That also looks like one that they're talking about changing fees. Again, this looks like trying to keep up with costs. And as everyone here knows, we talked about the bears and the green boxes and the extra cost. And if you're looking at more of these sites where you have to develop and put a fence around it, and if you're going to spread that throughout the county, you're adding a lot of extra costs involved.
Absolutely. Keeping in there with the county, I do know, for those that don't know, we got a race in Indian Valley this year for the Board of Supervisors. Primaries coming up real soon. And I think that race is starting to heat up. I think people are getting involved, which is what you want to see, people sharing their concerns. But that race is definitely heating up because the primary is coming up in, less than 2 weeks?
Exactly. We're recording this on Saturday, June 7th. And we go to social media for the update here. And this is something I think is breaking news. Things that are being said here are very important. This is from Kalinda Bechtold, who's in the Board of Supervisors, and she's running for re-election. And she's challenged in a primary by Walter Phillips. But she writes on her Board of Supervisors Facebook page, and I think this is worthy of a quote, if you don't mind me reading this.
Yeah, go for it.
From what I'm reading on here, this is approximately 8 hours ago. She writes, "For 3.5 years, I have been generally polite and respectful in my position on the board. The gloves are now off. If you could be told a fraction of what goes on in closed session, you would all be cheering me on. The chairman runs the board with an iron fist. Just try to get on the agenda with a topic he doesn't like. Quote, I am the chairman. This is my board. I will run it the way I want. Unquote. It is way past time for this to be burned down. I have been quietly throwing matches for a very long time. I am just getting started." Gentlemen, that says a lot about what's actually going on.
Yeah.
And I noticed
That's a pretty bold statement.
it's very bold, and particularly one of the things that bothers me, it makes a reference to the closed session. Remember, we've talked about the closed sessions before, and there's another one. One of the notices that you give us was that there's a closed session coming up on June 25th. It's not in Floyd. They're holding it, I think it's what the attorney's office is that right?
I believe so.
Yeah, over in Christiansburg, Blacksburg, wherever, but it's not going to be held here, and it's a closed session.
Okay.
I can tell you a closed session is supposed to be very brief. It is supposed to be addressing very specific topics, and you go in and you get out. I have seen a number of emails from people. I've had people come by and visit and ask what's going on here, because sometimes these closed sessions go on for a very long time, and a lot of people have been questioning that.
It is curious when board meetings in the past that I've watched, they have one in closed session for an hour at a time. I think it makes people question some transparency there, as to why they're in a closed session meeting for that long a time.
And now, clarification for me and any listeners that may not know this too, but going back to that closed session, Eric, I think you alluded on it. So when they go into session, I think by code, they are to talk about whatever that specific topic is that needs to be in closed session. They can't hit that topic and say, hey, while we're here, let's vote on X thing that could have been done in a public.
Exactly. You're supposed to hit something very specific, take a quick action on it, and then come out. And then they also are supposed to certify that everything that was done in there was, as per the Virginia Code, only about what could be talked in closed session. No wandering off about talking other things just because the mics are off and nobody's listening.
Yeah.
And there are only a certain amount of things that they can legally talk about in closed session.
It's very limited.
Personnel, security plans.
Yeah, if the county's putting on bids, there's that sort of thing about business related. So it's very limited. And I'd be curious to hear more from Ms. Bechtold about what she's actually seen in these sessions, because that's a very serious concern. It's a serious accusation. I mean, it's not really laid out here, but it's something that people have been talking about for a while. I've certainly had a lot of people asking me about it, and I'm concerned. I think we all should be.
Yeah, something to look into, and I even speak with Kay Linda. Like I said, I know that that race is heating up. She's been making a lot of social media posts trying to set the record straight. I've seen a lot of social media posts from a person running against her, Mr. Phillips. They're both being proactive, and I think as long as it stays amicable and doesn't get dirty, I think it's a good thing when you have multiple people running. And I'm not even touching on what that specific post was making claims of, but just the fact that two people are running here in their district and they're bringing issues to light that clearly, at least to me, it's clear that a lot of people were unaware of these issues, that now that we've got two people running against each other that are saying, hey, here's the issues, it seems like there's kind of some citizens that are standing up and saying, wait a minute.
Well, what do you think about this? What do we invite both of them, one at a time, to come on the podcast and state their positions? What do you think about that?
I think that's a great idea.
Count it as an invite to both of them. Bring them on here, and we'll come up with some questions. And any listeners, if there's questions that you want to know, especially ones that live in Indian Valley, let us know. We'll ask them.
Put that on through. We'll try to get a hold of them and see if we can't get them in there for next week, because I know we're coming up on that primary that's coming up on
I believe it's the 17th.
June 17th. That's Tuesday. Hopefully we'll get a hold of them next week. If we find some time, we may have to find different dates, which is fine. I think we can be flexible.
We can make it work. I think it'd be a good thing.
Do you know where the valley is, Eric?
I've been there once or twice.
I heard something about some VDOT. They're going to be closing a bridge for some work in Indian Valley. Is that correct, coming up?
Yeah, it is. The email is not real specific on exactly what bridge it is on the Valley Road, but it does say the Hillsville Bridge crew is planning on closing the bridge on Indian Valley Road in Floyd. It doesn't specifically name out where that bridge is at or what it's close to, but that's starting June 23rd through the 26th.
Yeah, and there's probably going to be some sort of detour that they're going to put in place.
Keep in mind that for those that have to travel that route.
Then we got work going on here in town, too.
Route 8.
It's the season, isn't it?
Be prepared to wait. Oh, yeah. Chad?
It's going to be nice when it's done.
Oh, yeah, it will be.
We'll just get started on the whole. Maybe we can get after these roads, let's get them working on some of the side roads, like Firehouse.
With the potholes.
Yeah.
Chad, we got any updates? I check in with the sheriff's office. Seems like a lot of times we do have some new updates or different things going on with the sheriff's office. Anything new to report there?
A couple things we can touch on. I know we kicked off June with a food drive. We partnershiped up with Plenty, and this week was our first week, and we were able to collect just over 45 pounds of canned goods to donate to Plenty. So
cool
definitely keep bringing in those canned foods to the sheriff's office and keep donating.
Now, for anybody that don't know and they want to donate and help out with that, what do they need to bring? I'm assuming non-perishable items.
Yeah,
and where do they need to bring them?
Kind of focus on things you could sort of make a meal on, like jars of peanut butter or cans of soup or cans of beans, things of that nature.
Good deal. And bring them to the sheriff's office.
Yeah, you can bring them to the sheriff's office, drop them off there at our dispatch center. There's 2 bins there with a flyer on it where we pushed out both through our Facebook page as well as Plenty's. It's a good thing, and it's been successful so far. So hope that by the end of the month, we'll be up in the hundreds, if not maybe 1,000.
That'd be great.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Also, one last thing. We've got 2 new officers, so the community's going to be seeing 2 new faces here. They will have to attend the police academy, but John Offenberger and Taylor Slusher welcomed them aboard this month, and I'd like to welcome them to the team and wish both of them the best. I know they'll do a good job for us.
I think both boys graduates of Floyd County High School too, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think they're
Excellent.
local kids, and I should say kids. They're grown men, but anybody that's 10 years younger than me
I
at
was
this
going to
point
say, when
is a
you
kid.
start, you start putting that distance, they all look like kids.
All right, I think that covers the headlines. And did I forget anything?
I think that's all I can think of.
Yeah. Well, we got some sports to talk about.
We do still have some sports. Once we hit into postseason, these teams are still cooking with gas. The breaking news we had yesterday and today, we've got the Class 2 state championships in track and field are taking place up at JMU in Harrisonburg. And I got the news this morning that the Floyd County team won the 4x800 meter relay. So they are the state champions in that. And not only that, they broke a record, a long-standing record that had been for Class 2. So so that is the team comprised of Braden Hilton, Quinlan Beagle, Mason Urchel, and Chase Keith. They have done an outstanding job.
Yeah, good job, guys.
But they're not alone. The girls' team also won the Class 2 4x800 relay, and they're the state champions. So we've got a double there. And that's Leah Altizer, Abby Allen, Reagan Lynch, and Annika Beagle. How about that? I mean, it's still going on, so we may have some other people come out of this because it's still going on today.
Did you ever run track?
Actually, I did very briefly, but I was only when I was in middle school, and I was terrible at it.
Yeah. My old baseball coach used to tell me, he'd say, unhook the wagon, because I run so slow.
We had some other teams, I think, in the postseason too, but I don't know if there was an update on their seasons.
So we've got baseball, unfortunately, did not advance. They lost to Appomattox County in playoffs, but they had a tremendous run this season to get as far as they did. So I think kudos go to the baseball team. I was enjoying watching their progress through things. The tennis teams, we talked about before how well they were doing. Well, it looks like both of them are advancing in the state. So what I could find online is that both of the teams have gone to the state tournament. That the boys varsity team, apparently they played yesterday. I haven't been able to find what happened with that. They were playing Wise County for, I believe it was the quarterfinals for the state. And the girls were playing Gate City. And it looks like from what I saw on Facebook that the girls won the state quarterfinals and are going to be going to the state semifinals.
Good deal.
So hopefully we'll have more good news next week.
Yeah. Congratulations to all our Buffaloes and Lady Buffaloes, the ones that have already won state championships and the ones that are still working towards that, and even the ones that their season's over. I think we've covered it on the podcast pretty much the entirety of the spring season, and across the board, we've had some solid groups of kids this year.
This is something else. I mean, for a Class 2 school, but it has been a powerhouse for turning out good teams this year. It's been something to see.
Yeah.
They all ought to be rewarded for that and applauded. They did a great job.
Absolutely.
I know that sports are kind of winding down in the county with the summer months approaching, but that just means that there's more events going on.
Lots of music.
Lots of vacation Bible school, as we've talked about before, but a lot of stuff to do in the county. Let's just hit on a few things that I know that are coming up this week and coming up soon. What's the first one? Who wants to kick us off with some events going on?
Yeah, the first one is the Robertson Mill Open House, and that's at 1367A Robertson Mill Road. They've been working on this for quite some time. I'm not sure if it's finished, but they are having an open house where they will have vendors, raffles, music from 11:30 to 3, barbecue. They'll have guided meal tours on the half hour, kids activities, and old-time demonstrations. So get out and check that out.
What's the date on that?
That's going to be June 21st from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
June 21st. That sounds like something you can take the whole family to and hang out.
They've done a lot of work on that meal.
Yeah, they've been working on that for years now, haven't they?
They really have, yeah.
I'm looking forward to see how that turns out.
Yep. Eric, what do you got going on for the county for the listeners?
Like I said, there's lots of stuff. I'll take an easy one coming up on Saturday the 14th at the library. That is the puzzle tournament. That's from 1 to 3. So come on in teams up to 4 players to see who can finish their 500-piece puzzle in the least amount of time. My guess is that's jigsaw puzzle, and if you're jigsaw puzzle oriented, that'd be, I'm not sure if it's as much a spectator sport, but it sounds like it'd be kind of fun to get into.
I don't know if it's lack of patience or lack of focus, but I've never been one that could sit for any amount of time and just put a puzzle together.
Oh, for me, it's lack of eyesight. I don't think I
put a
could
few
focus
together
on
over
that.
the years.
Yeah. I'm sure it's rewarding.
It's relaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my grandma used to put them together, and then she would put them in a frame and hang them on the wall. If it was some type of pretty decor, outdoor scene or something, that she would always hang it up like it was a painting.
It's relaxing, but is it a competitive sport? That's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
to
I'm
see.
not sure. I don't know how that's going to play out. Maybe somebody comes through and shoves their puzzle.
I was going to say,
floor.
Can it get physical? Can we go over and like do shoulder checks on somebody while they're putting their piece together?
From shoulder checks to Replenish Festival.
Yes. Well, entirely opposite.
I seen that one sitting there. I know that's coming up, so I thought that'd be a good segue.
Have any of you all been to Replenish?
I have been. I've actually played music at Replenish Festival.
Oh, well.
Yeah. It's a great festival. Great. And talking about family friendly, it's another family friendly thing that's worth bringing the kids and everybody out
Well,
to.
and for me, I can take Tyson, the courthouse dog, can go on to that because Tyson comes down to Replenish and hang out there and did some of the music, ice cream, and
You didn't put him in the dunk tank, did you?
he probably would like that. He went and he stood in the stream. They had all these folks there getting baptized, and he stood in the stream. He seemed to enjoy that part.
Upstream or downstream? That could get real sour.
Well,
real
he
quick
was
for those being
was
baptized.
upstream, but I was watching him. He
He was good. He was
everything.
a good boy.
It was all above board, so no problems.
All right.
But that is on July 12th. And, of course, that's down in Indian Valley on 5430 Indian Valley Road. It's a great site. Don't even think about trying to use your cell phone down there, though. I don't think we've got any coverage. I remember that being the case, but it's a great place to get out there and just walk around and enjoy the day. And
It is.
good music and good fellowship.
For anybody, I guess, that doesn't know about it, Replenish Festival is a faith-based festival that has Christian music artists on stage playing throughout the day. And then they really try to hone in a lot of just quality family time. A lot of the activities for kids, whether it be, I think, duck races, or they have the Dunkin' booth where have different volunteers sit in the booth, see if you can knock them down into the water.
Ice cream.
Ice cream. I mean, there's a creek that runs along through there. They do activities in the creek.
There was lots of playing in the creek. There's playing in the creek, and there's also the baptism.
And the baptism. Yeah, a lot of good stuff. I know they do campfire stuff at night, sing-alongs. Might even play one year I think they did a movie. But check it out, their website, Replenish Festival. They'd love it if you showed up. It'd be great for the whole family.
So that's, I guess, a little over a month out. But if you want to warm up to a music festival, check out the Spark Fest Music and Art Festival. That's coming up June 14th, and it's a one-day festival from 5 to 10 p.m. at the Springhouse campus. It looks like that's located at 144 Silver Maple Lane in Pilot. Some of the featured bands are Holy River, Her Majesty,
You'll get there.
The Kind, and Skylar Locke. Sparkfest is a family-friendly, sober event. So if you want to check that out.
That's on the 14th?
I looked it up. Silver Maple Lane is off of Bethlehem Church Road.
Oh, okay.
And I did not know that, and I live less than a mile from Bethlehem Church
You work in
Road.
dispatch. You're supposed to know where every street is.
I do once I get it pulled up on the map.
That's right.
Good deal. That would be good.
I got one more.
Okay.
Didn't make it onto the list, but I got one more here. It's the Topeka Christian Church is having a summer camp. Their theme is Magnified, and that's going from June 17th to July 17th. The flyer says children can engage in a variety of fun, educational, and faith-based activities every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. So kind of an extended kind of vacation Bible school sort of thing. It says this enriching program is offered completely free of charge, providing an excellent way for young learners to enjoy their summer break while developing new skills, friendships, and a deeper understanding of the bigness of God. Don't miss out on this fantastic opportunity for growth, learning, and fun. Registration is open, and so spaces are limited. So what you need to do is you just contact Topeka Christian Church and ask them about their the summer camp, and they will put you in touch. So this is for children from the ages of 3 years to 5th grade, and maybe a few more besides. I think if you're anywhere close there, they try to be as inclusive as possible. So ask them about that, and they'll try to work you in.
Yeah. They'd rather have you there. More about involvement than it is a hard cutoff at that age.
Absolutely.
Look, folks, there's all kinds of stuff that's going to be in and out throughout the summer. The town's doing a small town summer concert series. You can check out all the normal music places. If you're looking for live music, Friday Night Jamboree, Dogtown has bands on the weekends.
And Wildwood on Saturdays.
Wildwood, yeah. I believe today they either had an open house at Wildwood or did they have a cruise-in, a car show today?
They have music playing today.
Music today.
Cruise-ins are usually on Sundays.
And they're every other Sunday, so it's not this Sunday. It'll be...
I think it's the second and the fourth Sunday.
That's right. So the 15th. So Father's Day.
Yeah. In case the next episode isn't pushed out by then, we'll make sure that everybody knows that. Next Sunday, if you're looking to check out a cruise-in and car show, I haven't got a chance to go yet. I've been wanting to take my family for a long time now, and it seems like every time they have it, something's come up. But
it's a good time if the weather's nice. They usually have a good turnout.
Last week they had about 60 cars show up for that. So
yeah, it packs out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good deal. Check that out.
One thing I wanted to give a shout out was I don't know if anybody's noticed our new logo.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the Floyd Main Street podcast logo.
Yeah, created by our man John Velitis.
John, say hi to everyone, John.
I'm glad you like it, but I have to tell you guys that you've been pronouncing my name incorrectly. The correct pronunciation is Volitis.
Volitis. Well, there you go. This is the day for corrections.
We hack names around here, don't we?
The name butchers.
I'm trying to figure out how to put my southern drawl on that pronunciation of the name, but we have to add a Floyd flair to it.
Yeah, to do that, you say John Volitis.
Yeah,
bless his heart.
Bless. That works. There you go.
Thanks, John. We appreciate you, though.
Oh yeah.
Even if we do hack your name.
For those our faithful listeners that have been listening to us since episode 1, you probably noticed a few weeks ago our voices sounded a little bit different. That's because John came in here and equipped us with some pretty awesome microphones and setup, and really got us to a point to where we could deliver some quality content.
Well, it beats all of us hanging around trying to talk into one cell phone. While we're still all friends, that was still uncomfortable how close we had to get.
It was a little close.
Chad's breath.
We didn't ever made it in 2020.
Yeah, trying to do this with a mask on.
Yeah.
But no, we do appreciate John. We appreciate our entire production crew, Big Country Cockrum for helping out, and just appreciate everybody that's helped out with this. People that send us stories, that give us feedback. Like, no matter how big or small your contribution is, even if it's just in passing, you see one of us three here, and you say, "Hey, listen to the episode this week. I like it. Liked what you had to say." Like, people may not think that really means a lot. Well, to me personally, I know it means a lot, because I think this person took time out of their day to sit and listen to this old goober talk for a few minutes. I am appreciative of it. I really am.
Yeah, and I can take criticism too. If there's something that you don't like, let us know.
Well, and I can give criticism, Chad. So we're a good bench here.
I know that.
And I'm the neutral party, just introducing and telling y'all goodbye. Nah, but we do appreciate everybody, especially our listeners. Again, you can find us on any platform, social media, YouTube. You can send us an email if you've got questions, concerns, things that you want brought up, talked about. Hopefully, we mentioned today, we'll have some local political candidates running for Indian Valley. Maybe reach out to them, try to get them on the show so our listeners out there can be more informed of that primary that's coming up soon. But until next time, I encourage you to take care of yourself and take care of your loved ones. Y'all have a good week, okay?
Take care.
See ya.
Goodbye.